Welcome to CAMNES studio. I am Mostafa Al-Saghir, General Director of Karnak Temples and Avenue Sphinx. Today we are speaking about Luxor Cachette. It's considered to be one of the most important discoveries in Luxor during the last century. The story of this cachette is starting at 22nd of January 1989. While one of the workers working there in Luxor Temple, they start to do their ordinary work of cleaning using a trowel in this kind of ground full of dust and so. And then once his trowel hit a stone in the ground, it was something really unusual to have something like this. So he immediately asked the chief of the workers to come to see what's there inside the ground. So the chief of the workers came, and then he found a very well made carving stone. So he asked the workers to clean a little bit more around. So he found it looks like a base of a statue. Immediately, he phoned Dr. Mohammed Al-Saghir, my father. He was in his office during this time. It was kind of 8:30 at morning, and then they asked him to come really quickly to Luxor Temple in order to see what's happening there. In 15 minutes, he was there in Luxor Temple, and then he went immediately to see this kind of place. It was in the festival court of Amenhotep III in Luxor Temple. Then as soon as he found this kind of block, he asked them to clean more and to make a kind of a small excavation in the area to know which kind of block this one. And then he found it was a base of a double statue put in a pit inside the ground. It was kind of unusual discoveries like this, and it came like that by chance. So he decided to see all the situation inside, and then he decided to put kind of borders around this pit. Then he make his first report exactly at the day next to this discovery. This kind of report written to the head of the Supreme Council of Antiquities during this time, explaining what happened and what they found. And then he was asking to have a scientific excavation for this site in order to know maybe if there is other statues or not. And his expectation put the goal, so they start to make that excavation, and they start to record all the layers, all the features, and then they found something like 26 objects of really very well made statues during the ancient times. Many of them considered to be like a masterpiece of ancient Egyptian carving. One of them Amenhotep III statue of quartzite. Also we have other statues for the king Horemheb kneeling in front of the god Amun, other statues for the god Amun himself, something for the cobra, Kamut F, taking the shape of the cobra, the snake. Also they found very nice statues of Diorit for the goddess Hathor. The only statue had been found during the ancient Egyptian civilization for the goddess Eunit. It was there. We didn't find something similar to this. Also, we found statue for the goddess Taweret, which looks like the hippopotamus, which this kind of goddess is to help women giving birth. We found a small statue of alabaster dating to the king Tutankhamun. Other statues for Ramses II with Mut, goddess Mut. Many other statues for the king Thutmose III. So mainly this thing of excavation, it was just by chance, but it had really a very big value. Not only because all of these statues, they are really important and they have a very artistic features and so, but also the idea behind this kind of cachette. That may be still the Egyptologist thinking about this kind of cachette. Sometimes many Egyptologists think that it's only kind of rearrangement inside the ancient Egyptian temples by the high priests in order to create more space for other additions in the temples, or at least some others found that maybe during any kind of foreign attacks of other armies, like, I don't know, Assyrian people or whatever they would like to protect their own value things. So they start to make a pit and then they cover these statues inside. So that can be both of them. We still don't know exactly the main reason that made the ancient Egyptians put this kind of statues inside a pit underground. But also the idea of this kind of excavation really gives us about the reusing of this kind of statues and the temples during the ancient times. We are following the layers, the features, and then we have found also other pottery jars, many things to show in this kind of cachette. Of course, this kind of discovery started mainly in the excavation, and they have facing many difficulties while they are working, because the level of the underground water was really high. That's the reason that they decided to stop the excavation, because they already reached the level of the underground water. We can see in some pictures that these statues, when they are discovered, full of water, and there is many mud and huge amount of mud around this kind of statues. Also the idea of bringing out all of these statues above the ground, which was not that easy task. You have to deal with it really carefully in order to protect this kind of monuments, to be treated in a very good way, to make the first aid of conservation work and restoration for all of these statues. Then the second stage was to move all of these kind of objects to a storeroom, which will organized in this part. Its name is Abul Good storeroom. It had been created in Luxor exactly during this time of Cachette. We were lucky enough to have this kind of storeroom in order to keep all of these objects there, to be treated and to be documented, and to know exactly what is the final destination of this kind of statues. Then after this, the decision had been taken to create a specific place in Luxor Museum, underground also, because at the beginning this kind of place in Luxor Museum had been created to have like a library in Luxor Museum. But then, after the discovery of Luxor Cachette, a presidential decision had been taken by former president of Egypt, Hosni Mubarak, is to keep these objects in Luxor, not to move anywhere else. So they have been selected this part of Luxor Museum, which is a hole underground, exactly to imitate the idea of cachette. Something really had been discovered underground, so it can be displayed also underground in Luxor Museum. So they put all of these kind of objects almost like 2 years after conservation and documentation in the storeroom, and then they had been displayed in this specific hall in Luxor Museum. The importance of this discovery really makes many of news had been spread around all over the world about this kind of very important discovery. We can see that the President Mubarak came to see the excavation by himself. Also, because of the discovery, it had been created kind of specific or special case for Luxor as a city itself. Because at the beginning it was just a city in the governorate of Qina. And then when Mubarak came and to see this kind of discovery, and he can see the importance of Luxor as a city, so he gave a decision to have Luxor as specific city with specific conditions to be kind of something really important as a cultural center for all over the world. Then the next step, it was to create Luxor as a governorate, which happened there because also the discovery of the Avenue Sphinx. We can see also still the news about this kind of discovery in the newspaper, international newspaper, some of them in English, French, Italian, even Japanese and Chinese. So it is kind of one of the most important discoveries that had been happened in Luxor during the last century. I would like to give you a specific speech about this, especially for my own person, that it's really important because in this kind of cachette, I was really young, and then I found out that this kind of activities, the excavation and discovery, since this time I decided to be an Egyptologist or an archaeologist because of this kind of important discovery that I found, and I was really young, and it changed my life. So I would like to share this kind of information with you. Thank you.
Hi guys, if you want to discover more about archaeology and our ancient past from a different perspective, make sure to click on the CAMNES logo here below. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you will never miss an episode and join the archaeological community in search of the truth.